2 lakh worth equity as your closing balance, and the opening balance was 150. That is, in the beginning it was 150, and at the end it is 200. So what does it mean? What do you conclude with this? If in the beginning equity was 150 and the closing balance of equity account was 2 lakh, what is the conclusion? What do we decide? What is our conclusion?
Sir, we 50,000 was our revenue in this year.
Okay, any other observation? I'll repeat the question. Look at the slide. Assume that equity was 2 lakh in the beginning, in the end. Closing balance of equity. Find out closing balance. Let us assume it is 2 lakh. Find out opening balance. Assume it is 150. What does this 50,000 indicate? Any other
Net
answer?
profit.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Any other answer?
More equity issued.
More equity issued. Now, which of the two is correct? More equity issued or profit or revenue? I am
More
using it.
equities has come into the business.
Okay. Let me clarify. What word am I using? I am using the word equity. What is the difference between equity and capital? Is there a difference between equity and capital?
Yes.
What is it?
So capital is of partners and equity is of shareholders.
Yes, capital is a word that we use in sole trader or partnership form of business. Equity is a word that we use which is solely applicable in case of a company where shareholders are there. So one who has said earlier that profit or revenue is true only and only if it is a case of a sole trader business, but it is not. It is a case of a company. When it is a case of a company, revenue will not be added to the capital. We will do some other treatment with the revenue. Therefore, the plausible explanation or a correct explanation is that during the year, fresh equity of rupees 15,000 has been issued. We have issued, this company has issued fresh shares of rupees 50,000. So this is the explanation. Now, when company has issued fresh shares of rupees 50,000, what is this? Is it a source or application?
Source.
Source.
It is a source. It is a source. So in case of issue of shares, it is a source. Now we go to the
Sir, does it also mean the company is expanding?
yes, company is expanding. There can be several other explanations also, but for the time being, what explanation should we be confined to? Sources of funds or application of funds? There can be several other inference, several other indication. Look at the account I have made. If you are asked to show workings, the working can be shown by by showing it in the form of an account. So we have prepared a ledger account of equity share capital account. Which side shall you write opening balance? Debit or credit?
So credit side.
Credit side. Why? Your answer is correct. Hmm.
So because we're talking about liabilities.
Okay, it is a liability. Further, little more explanation. It is a liability. Whenever there is increase in the liability, increase is credited. Therefore, opening balance its closing would have been in credit last year. Therefore, opening will be in the credit side. When opening is in credit, closing will be in debit. So these two information were given. These information you have transferred in the ledger account. Now you have to balance. This side is 2, this side is 15. So closing will be 50. I have written here bank and written balancing figure. Why should bank appear here? Why should the bank appear here? Any answer? Why should bank appear here? This I had explained to you in this slide. Why should bank appear here? I had given you explanation. Why should bank appear here? Now come on and tell me. This you have rightly said that it is liability. Therefore, opening balance will be in credit side, and hence debit will be in closing balance will be in debit side. So we now have to balance, and balancing figure is on credit side. But I am writing here bank. Why should bank be written? Okay, if you cannot think now, think over it and answer it later. Okay. Or equity. Now we go on to the next slide. If you have anything to ask here, you can ask. If not, I'll move on to the next slide. Okay. Now, what all you have done in the liability side, can you recall? In the balance sheet, you have 4 sides. Asset side, sorry, 2 sides, asset side and liability side. You have taken out all current assets. You have taken out all fixed assets from the balance sheet. In the liability side, you have taken out all long-term liabilities. What remains? Whatever remains, that will be taken in this step. See, I'll repeat. Look at this. What all you are supposed to do? Funds from working capital. So when you are saying working capital, what all will you take? Current assets and current liabilities. When you say fixed assets, you will take out fixed assets. When you are doing long-term liabilities, you will take long-term liabilities. So what will remain in the balance sheet? In the balance sheet, 3 things you have done. Current assets and current liabilities, fixed assets, long-term liabilities. What other figures will remain in the balance sheet? Can you name? Can you name what other figures will remain in the balance sheet when these 3 have been worked out? On 3 you have worked. On what other figures you need to work? On what other remaining figures you need to work? Recall what items are there in the balance sheet on asset side. Can you recall what items are there in the balance sheet on asset side? Yes, someone should tell me. What are the items that are there in the balance sheet on asset side?
Non-current assets and current assets.
Current assets and
Non-current assets.
non-current assets. What do you include in non-current assets?
Capital, intangible assets.
Okay, now take out your answer sheet, take out your notebook and note. Make a note in this one. What did you say? Intangible assets. Name those intangible assets. What will be the intangible assets?
Patent.
Goodwill, yes.
Patent.
Patents,
Royalty.
sorry,
Royalty.
royalty, then
Copyrights.
copyrights, then
Trademarks.
trademarks, then what else will be there in the balance sheet on asset side?
Free cash.
Sorry, say it again.
Sir, cash.
But cash you have already taken in while calculating working capital. I
The
am
loans and advances.
loans and advances also you have taken.
Sir, bills receivable.
Bills receivable you have taken in the current assets, isn't it? When you
Inventory.
calculated, look at here. When you calculated your current assets, have you not taken cash, bank, bills receivable? You have taken. Then what else will remain? What else will be there? You are forgetting some two, three important
So debtors,
debtors you have taken in current assets.
So miscellaneous expenditures.
Investments.
Miscellaneous expenditure, yes. Miscellaneous expenditures not written off. Miscellaneous expenditure not written off that you have not taken. That means in the balance sheet asset side we have taken everything. Here we have taken current assets. In second point we have taken fixed assets. Now come to liability side. What have you taken and what have you not? Come to the liability side of balance sheet. What has been considered in steps taken so far? Long-term liabilities. Long-term liabilities you have done. What remains? What remains in the balance sheet if long-term liabilities have been taken? Like you have taken,
Current liabilities.
but current liability you have taken here. When you calculated changes in net working capital, did not you take current assets minus current liabilities? You have taken current assets minus current liabilities. So you have taken current liabilities here, long-term liabilities in this step. What remains in the balance sheet which is yet to be taken, now make a note of it.
So
If you cannot
fictitious
recall,
assets. Fictitious assets.
assets you have taken on the asset side, somebody just now spoke on the liability side of balance sheet, apart from long-term liabilities, what you have not considered so far, you can note it now. Reserves you have not taken.
So
What have you?
reserve.
Yes, reserves. Then
Provisions.
provisions. Then reserves, provisions, profit and loss account. You call them as retained earnings. Retained earnings. So these are few things that in the balance sheet are there on a liability side which you have not taken. All these figures we shall take when we calculate changes in profit and loss account or calculation of profit loss account from the calculation of profit loss account, also known as adjusted profit loss account. All those things which remain in the balance sheet, everything which remain in the balance sheet which we have not considered earlier will be considered in this step. Now before we explain this step in detail, let us take one simple example. That suppose your suppose that in 2019, in the previous year, your closing balance of profit loss account was 80,000. Just assume that in the balance sheet, balance in the profit loss account in previous year was 80,000. Now in the end, in 2019, this balance is 1,10,000. What do we conclude? What is the conclusion? If our opening balance was 80, closing balance is 1,10,000, what is our conclusion? Yes, tell me what is the conclusion?
So we have a profit of 30,000.
There
We
is a
have made,
profit.
correct. Your answer is correct. We have made a profit of rupees 30,000. Correct. Now we further assume that there was a depreciation of rupees 30,000 of rupees 20,000 in last year. Will you change your figure of profit or your answer will remain unchanged? Suppose last year there was a depreciation on fixed assets of rupees 20,000. Can we still say that last year profit was 30,000 or profit was more than 30,000?
Profit will remain unchanged.
Sorry,
Hence,
say it
profit
louder.
will profit will remain unchanged, but depreciation should be subtracted from the profit.
Okay. Any other answer? She says
Profit will remain unchanged, but depreciation should be subtracted from asset side, sir.
from asset side. Okay. Any other answer? All right. Let me provide you the answer. How do you arrive at the figure of profit? After subtraction of depreciation or before subtraction of depreciation? See, profit and loss. Where do you calculate it? Profit is calculated in the profit loss account. In the profit loss account, while calculating profit, do you subtract depreciation or you do not subtract depreciation? This figure is, tell me the answer. This figure is before depreciation or after depreciation?
Before depreciation.
Before.
Before. When you say net profit is rupees 30,000, is it before or after?
Before
The net profit is after depreciation.
This is after depreciation. This is after depreciation. Why I say after depreciation? Because opening and closing figures are given. These opening and closing figures would be before depreciation or after depreciation. Naturally, it will be after depreciation. Naturally, these figures will be after depreciation. So that means saying that it is before depreciation is what you said, it will be subtracted from the profit, is incorrect. This figure would have been already subtracted. I will repeat. This figure would have been already subtracted, and then only you would have arrived at 30,000. Now tell me, profit will remain 30 or it will change? It should change. What should happen?
Added.
It will be added. Why it will be added? Because depreciation is a non-cash expense. When you charge depreciation, does any cash go out of the company?
No, sir.
No,
Nothing goes out of the company. There is no cash expense. It is only a book entry. It is only an entry which is legally required. Assuming that company is doing everything on cash, there is no accrual concept. Just assume for the time being there is no accrual concept. Everything is being done on cash. Sales, everything is on cash. How much cash will be available in the company's cash box? 30,000 or 50,000? 50,000, because 30 will be profit and 20 company would have calculated profit 30 by subtracting this, but this money would not have gone out. Therefore, in the cash box, amount of cash available would be 50. That means in order to ascertain the real profit, in order to ascertain the correct amount of profit, all cash expenses will be added. All cash expenses will be added. Now we move on to the next slide to explain to you it further. Now, the example of non-cash expenses, depreciation is one example of non-cash expenses I explained to you. Now, capital gain or capital loss. Let me explain to you the meaning of capital loss and capital gain. Many of you might not have read it before. You know the meaning of ordinary gain or ordinary loss. Ordinary gain or ordinary loss is a result of your business operation. If sales revenue is more than the rest of the expenses, you have profit. If sales revenue is less than most of the expenses are more, then you have loss. But if you have more revenue than less expenses, you have profit. A simple case like we have been calculating so far. Capital gain or capital loss is a different. It is arrived at, you get it only when you sell a fixed asset. Suppose you bought an asset for rupees 1 lakh. I am explaining the concept of capital gain. Suppose you buy an asset for rupees 1 lakh. You have charged depreciation of rupees 20. You have charged depreciation of rupees 20. So what will be the value of asset now? What will be the value of asset? It was bought for 1 lakh and 20,000 depreciation has been charged. What will be the value of asset as on date?
80,000.
80,000. What do you call this value? There is a specific term of calling this value.
Book value, sir.
No.
Present value.
Written down.
Present value.
Present value, no.
Purchase value.
Purchase value, no.
Current value.
Somebody,
Written down value.
yes, somebody said the correct answer. It is known as written down value. Even those of you who are not from commerce, it is something very, very unfortunate that you simply don't remember. Simply, I'm using the word, you simply don't remember. Earlier, maybe around 10 class before, 10 sessions before, 8, 9 sessions before, somebody asked me what is the meaning of written down value. I explained. In detail, I had explained to you. You would have noted down. You would have read it several times, the previous notes. At this stage, you would have no regrets. I did not ask something which I did not explain to the class. So, if you don't revise your notes and if you don't remember, you are heading for a bad time. I'm telling you, I have no idea how will the examination take place. Will it be written? Will it be viva? Or will it be some? I don't know what will happen. But if it is a viva voce examination, I'll ask you questions like this only, individually, naturally, because it will be, if viva, it will be one-to-one basis. I will give you 5 questions. If the examination is of, let us say, 30 marks, for each question there will be 5 or 6 marks. I'll ask you 5 questions. Let us say exam is of 25 marks. I'll ask you 5 questions. Each question you will get 5 marks. If you answer all correct, you get 25. If you answer no question correct, you get 0. You will have the right to tell me, I am using the word, you will have the right to tell me that this was not discussed in the class. If I have asked you something even by mistake, which I did not discuss in the class, you will not be punished for that if you don't answer. I will immediately change, ask you a different question. If you can answer all 5, 25. If you answer none, you get a 0. Rest assured, I will not hear nothing, no explanation. I have explained in the class. I have clarified your doubt. I am prepared to clarify your doubt again and again. If you have not understood, I'll take one more remedial class, 2, 3, 4, 5, as many as you want, I'll take. I will not say no till you say you have understood. So this is my turn. When your turn comes, I will ask you. And if you cannot answer, get ready to see me in the next semester. There is no third option. The only option is answer correctly, you get marks. Don't answer, you get 0. Why is it that this concept was explained before? You did not remember. The only reason for your not remembering is that you did not refer back to those notes once again. I am putting, I am writing a question in the chat box. Write its answer honestly. Wait for the question that I am writing in the chat box. Just wait, let me type. Wait just for a second, I am writing. I have written a question. Read that question carefully. I have provided three options. I have provided three options. Your answer should be one of those three. Don't write anything other than that. I'll repeat. I have written a question. Following that question, I have provided three options. Okay, let me change it. I have provided three options. Option A, option B, and option C. What all you need to do after reading that question carefully, just type either A or B or C. The question I have written, I am posting it in the chat box now. Immediately write either A or B or C, but write honestly. Be honest to yourself. You may write any answer you want. I'm not going to check it inside your heart. I cannot. Nobody, in fact, can except you yourself. So be honest to yourself and just type in the chat box either A or B or C. Look at the question. Here you go. How often do you revise accounting notes? Once the class is over, do you rarely turn your pages? Do you see them or you don't? Just write A, B, C. Has everybody mentioned it or still somebody is thinking? Finish it. It should not take more than 10 seconds. Once you have read the question, it will take not even a second. You know what you have done or you know what do you do. So this part A, B or C is your attendance also. Those of you who have answered, I'll treat them as present, and those who have not, naturally they are sleeping somewhere else. After switching on their mobile phone or system, they have gone somewhere else. I will continue. Has everybody written? Okay, let me now explain where were we. So we were here. I was asking you, I was explaining to you the meaning of capital loss and capital gain. So 80,000 was your this value of your just one second, give me some more time, let me check. Okay, 80,000 was your written down value. Now suppose this machine or this asset is sold for rupees 90,000. This asset is sold for rupees 90,000. So this 10,000 would become capital gain. And if this asset is sold for 70,000, if this asset is sold for 70,000, then 10,000 becomes capital loss. So this is the meaning of capital gain and capital loss. That is, if the asset is sold for more than written down value, is a gain. If it is sold for less than written down value, it is a loss. So this is your cash expense. If loss, cash expense. If gain, cash gain. Non-cash gain, sorry. We are explaining non-cash. So this is also added back. Like you add back depreciation, you add back this also, because in reality, money has not gone out. No cash went out. Therefore, it will be added back. Now transfer to reserve or from reserve. When I say transfer to reserve, company makes profit. From profit, it transfers money. From profit, it transfers money to some reserve, to some provisions for future use, for using it in emergency. If it arises, it may arise in the future. when you transfer this money from profit to reserve, from current year's profit to reserve, if you do so, again, there is no outflow of cash. Again, money does not go out of business. Therefore, it is known as non-cash expense and it is added back. So is the logic of adding back, is the logic of non-cash expense clear to you, or you need further explanation? Meaning of non-cash expense. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we go back to, we move on to certain other items.
So why do we have such irrelevant conventions like
Okay.
depreciation?
Okay. It is not irrelevant. It is very much relevant because law of the country, every country, any country in the world encourages businessmen, encourages business activities to happen. It encourages people to invest money in business. That too, taking some risk. It encourages people to invest money. Because of this, it provides concessions. It provides lot of assistance in various forms. One of the form of providing assistance is depreciation. If a company purchases car, purchases fixed assets, purchases building, it can charge depreciation. When it charges depreciation, its total profit gets reduced. Is it correct or not?
Yes, sir.
When depreciation is charged, the profit is reduced or not?
So reduced in the books.
Reduced in the book, correct? Continue. You have said a very right term, very correct term you have used. Reduced in the book, very correct term. Reduced in the book. What happens when it is reduced in the book? You pay more taxes or less taxes?
Less taxes, yes.
Less
Got
taxes. Less taxes, you are right, you pay less taxes. Is it good for the businessman?
Yes, sir.
Legally, it is good. So it encourages businessmen to buy more fixed assets. It encourages businessmen to buy more fixed assets and claim more depreciation and claim reduction in tax liability. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
In case company is not getting any incentive, let us take this example of either building or car. Let us take example of a car. If company does not buy a car, what will it do? What will it do?
It will hire a cab.
It will hire a cab. You are right. If it does not buy a building, it will have a building on rent.
And
So it has two options. Now, which one of the options will it go for? Buying a building or renting, taking a building on rent?
so buying a building.
Because it can claim depreciation, it can reduce its tax liability. Now come back to the word that you used again. It will remain in the books. Isn't it? Now go back to the purpose of preparing fund flow statement. Why are we preparing fund flow statement? Do you remember? I
Sir,
should have explained to you.
To analyze financial statement.
Number one, to analyze financial statement, correct? Number two. Okay, you again are not able to recall. Let me tell you. The who are users of accounting information? Shareholders, prospective shareholders.
Government.
Okay,
Income
several
tax.
people you know, users of accounting information. Because the accounting data is provided in technical terms, because law wants it to be uniform throughout the world. But the people who are using this data are not technically qualified. They have not done their CA or MBA or MCom or BCom, or they have not done any course in accounting. So a data available in such a language which users will not be able to understand properly, what will be the use of that data? Therefore, data is being provided in simpler form, in a form which they can understand. If you present them a statement showing that company got revenue from these sources, company get cash flow from these sources, and company spent money on these sources, they will be easily able to understand the financial health of a company compared to presenting them a balance sheet. So our purpose of preparation of financial statement is to present this data in as simple form as possible, so that the user of accounting data, even though they are not technical or they have no technical knowledge, will still be able to take important decision based on this information which you will provide to them in the form of cash flow statement, in the form of ratio analysis, in various other forms. This is the purpose of preparation of fund flow statement, and here is the reason sorry, here is the reason for presenting this data in technical as well as in simpler form. Now come to the other expenses, other data which you find in the asset side of balance sheet. Preliminary expenses. I have explained to you. I will yet explain this again. Preliminary expenses are those expenses which a company incurs at the time of its incorporation. At the time of its incorporation, before it starts its routine business of buying and selling, before it starts its commercial operation, and at the time of its incorporation, it spends lot of expenses, huge expenses. All those expenses put together can be called as preliminary expenses. Can you think of category of some expense which would come under preliminary expenses?
Taking electricity connections.
Taking
Licenses for different things.
licenses. Yes, correct. Appointment of a secretary who will discharge all these responsibilities. Then
Rent paid in advance.
rent paid in advance. All those expenses which company incurs before starting its business. It will not establish a company today and tomorrow it will start selling. It will have to raise money from the market, for which it will hire a banker for coming with IPO, initial public offering. It will appoint a secretary. It will have minimum staff to work, isn't it? It will get its prospectus printed. It will issue an ad in the newspaper that we are starting a company. This will be our product. These are our future prospects. Like this, it will incur huge expenses. All of them are called preliminary expenses. Because these are huge expenses, so in the year of its incorporation, in the year when it prepares its first balance sheet, in the year in which it prepares its first balance sheet or first profit loss account, it will not incorporate all these expenses in that year only. See, in the profit loss account, it writes all expenses like rent, like advertisement, like salaries, like wages, like purchases. But all these expenses which it has incurred and categorized as preliminary expenses, it will not record them as its total expenses. Why it does not record them in the current year's profit loss account? Why? Because if it does so, it will show huge losses, isn't it? If these expenses are recorded in the current year's profit loss account, it will show huge losses. So what law allows? Law allows that these expenses can be split into a period of, let us say, 5 years. Every year, 1/5 should be shown. Every year, 1/5 should be shown. 1/5 this year, 1/5 next year, 1/5 next to next year, and in the 5th year, the balance would become 0. When it shows 1/5 in this year, suppose company has spent 10 lakh, it will show 2 lakh in the profit loss account, and where will 8 lakh be shown? 8 lakhs will be shown in the asset side. That is why we write it as an asset, but it is our fictitious asset. Which kind of asset it is? It is our fictitious assets. Therefore, it will write the remaining part of these expenses as fictitious assets. I am only explaining to you their meaning. What do we do with preparation of fund flow statement? That part I will explain to you later. So is the meaning of preliminary expenses is clear? Can you answer me in the light of which accounting conventions it is doing so? Yes, in the light of which accounting conventions is the company doing so?
Sir, matching.
Matching, you're right, matching. Because if it shows the entire expenses, the current year's loss will be heavy. Similarly, there is a case of discount on issue of shares. Although practically it is not happening as on date. Today, in the current scenario, no company is issuing shares on discount. When I say issuing shares on discount, I mean a share of rupees 10 being offered to public for anything less than 10. The face value of a share is rupees 10 and company is selling it for rupees 9 or 8. This becomes a case of discount on issue of shares. In such a scenario, whatever is the discount that company has issued, to that extent, the amount will be shown in the company balance sheet asset side as a fictitious asset. This will also be an example of non-cash expense. Goodwill not written off. You know the meaning of word goodwill. When I say not written off, it means every year company reduces this amount. Every year from the balance sheet, company reduces this amount to the extent it is not reduced. It is known as not written off. It is known as not written off. Suppose company bought goodwill for 10 crores. Company bought goodwill for 10 crores. Rupees 6 crore on yearly basis, sometimes 2 crore, 2 crore, 2 crore each, it has written off. So 4 crore, which is yet to be written off, will be known as goodwill not written off and will be shown in the balance sheet asset side. So this is just meaning of the word goodwill not written off. Now listen to the question that I am asking. Every year it writes off certain amount. Every year it writes off certain amount. For example, 10 crore was there. In 1 year, 2 crore, 8 remains. Second year, again 2 crore written off, 6 crore remains. Again in the next year, 2 crore is written off, 4 crore remains. This process has a specific term. What is that specific term? This process has a specific word. What is that specific word?
So negative goodwill.
Any other answer? It starts with A. A for apple. Okay. If not now,
Amortization.
yes, you are right. It is known as amortization. Now what happens? Let me stop here. When these words are, these terms or these words or this thing takes place or is discussed in the class and you don't make a note of it or you don't apply your mind, you may be physically present in this meeting but mentally you are somewhere else and you don't remember these words, you don't listen to these words. How can you answer them? You cannot. And especially for those who are studying this subject for the first time, it is extremely important for them to be as attentive as possible, make a note of it, and revise those notes quite often. Once the classes are over, you are free from 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, take rest, whatever you want, but at least spend half an hour, 1 hour, read them twice, thrice, 4 times, see what was discussed, try to recall, and if there are problems you cannot understand, seek a clarification from your friends. If they're not able to clarify, talk to me, send me a message, ask me in the class, but day's lesson should be completed and should be clear the same day. Continue repeating it, continue revising it, only then you will be able to remember them. Now, if I ask you amortization after 10 days from now, and you have not understood, you have not noted, then you will be blank. You will not be able to answer. So here in the class, it will cost you nothing. But if you cannot answer this in the test, you know the consequences. At best, I can ask one more question. How many more can be asked? If 5 are to be asked, you were unable to answer 3 of them, I can ask you one more. If you can't answer even then, I'll ask you one more. But how long should I continue? Till you answer all 5? I mean, you consider a simple exam. You have been appearing in the examination for the past now 15 or 20 years now. So you change your style, better you start concentrating, reading it. This I have been telling you time and again. Anyhow, it's 50. We'll continue our, we'll just hold on. We'll, sorry, we'll continue our class. I'll check if somehow I'll be able to manage, because we had a loss of one class yesterday because of the holiday, and also coming this coming days also there's a holiday, the day when we have our class.